Hello, everyone. Hey, what's up? It's me, Jorge Estrada, DC. All right, buongiorno. So, Anthony Hopkins sat down with my father one-on-one inside of Finos Restaurante and Bar on M Street in Georgetown, Estrada, DC, Northwest. My dad did the same thing he did when Bob Dylan sat down with him. My father had the close sign on the front of the door, pulled the blinds down. He had a single-handed staff in the kitchen. I'm pretty sure Anthony Hopkins came through the back, and my understanding is that he was staying at the Jefferson Hotel only minutes away. He sat down with my father one-on-one in a booth, unattended and with no one else inside, for several hours. The Oscar-winning actor of Silence of the Lambs, who portrayed Hannibal Lecter. So, what makes this interesting is I will repeat again, as many times as I need to, that in May of 1981, after leaving through the back entrance of my elementary school behind the Hilton Hotel on Connecticut Avenue and Calorama Road in Northwest DC, with my two friends, en route to the nearby store to look at toys, magazines, comic books, kiss paraphernalia, and more, I ended up being on the corner during Ronald Reagan's shooting and near assassination by John Hinckley Jr. When John Hinckley Jr. was interrogated by the FBI, my understanding is that he said that he targeted Ronald Reagan and did what he did because he wanted to impress and get as close as he could to Jodie Foster, who he was obsessed with and I believe was stalking when she was a sophomore at the University of Yale on the campus in New Haven, Connecticut. So it's just fascinating because many years later, the co-starring lead actor of Silence of the Lambs with Jodie Foster would win an Oscar for his performance in Hannibal Lecter, and he would end up sitting down one-on-one with my father. And when I was a kid, before I knew better and knew what was up and was aware of what was going on or even thought of what was going on, one of my favorite movies to watch when I was the Roman Prince of the District of Columbia in our Holy House apartment building was The Hunchback of Notre Dame, which was rotated annually on CBS. And in that movie, Anthony Hopkins is Quasimodo. So I loved that movie when I was a kid and didn't know any better about what was going on. So I waited every year for that movie. And he ended up sitting with my father. Another movie I liked watching as a kid that rotated annually on NBC4 was the Anthony Hopkins movie Magic, in which he is a ventriloquist and his doll or puppet comes to life and is, I believe, diabolical and demonic and begins to take telepathic control and possession of the mind, spirit, body, and soul of the ventriloquist portrayed by Anthony Hopkins. So it's fascinating that this man who was the star actor of two movies that were my favorites as a kid and who portrayed Hannibal Lecter in Silence of the Lambs sat down with my father, and that I happened to be on the corner when John Hinckley Jr. did what he did and attempted to do what he did versus Ronald Reagan to impress and get close to Jodie Foster, who was a student at Yale at the time. All right, that is a wrap of this video log. I love you, Dad.